Good morning, good morning, good morning. Today is Mother's Day 2024, and I thought I would start out by wishing all you big mothers happy Mother's Day. And all you single dudes that are doing the damn thing, happy Mother's Day to you too. Got a lot of things going, so let's step off, shall we?
I think you're really cool. I like you a lot. Maybe we can hang out or something. Hey, I think you're really cool. I like you a lot. Maybe we can hang out or something.
Okay, so now I'm back. Some of the things that I'm going to be working on and may or may not be over the next couple of weeks, days. I don't have all the components that I need, but one of the things that I'll be working on is when I have this cover off to expose the receiver and have the trailer hitch in there, it just looks like ass. So what I decided I was going to do is right about here where the receiver is, I was going to notch this piece out so that you can take the receiver in and out, the hitch in and out, and leave the rest of the stuff covered. Kind of a little bit more aesthetically pleasing right here. So instead of potentially damaging the factory cover, I actually went down to the dealer and purchased an entire new piece. Okay, so this piece is the piece that will be getting the notch put in it. It's actually upside down, but and for two things. Now, not just for the when I'm dragging my kayak around on the trailer to a little bit better aesthetics right here, but I want to get a bike carrier that collapses, you know, that folds outward, and be able to mount a antenna mast to it for high frequency for HF radio. That's an upcoming project. You know, stay tuned kind of thing. The other thing that we've got going is I do have the NMO to, I forget what it is, PL259 or SO239, whatever. The regular UHF connection that goes in the back of your radio to an NMO. And I still have to decide which way I'm going to go with an antenna. And I have two sets. And this set, actually, the reason I went with this one was it's got the cover. So once it's mounted, this is what you would put through a trunk lid on your vehicle. Okay? So that's that particular deal. And that's probably going to be for low profile, quarter wave, eighth wave, whatever it is. You know, like 9-inch tall stub black antennas, or the Comet antenna that's like 60 something inches tall, is also an NMO. It comes with a UHF. So to facilitate that, I bought two of these adapters, NMO to UHF, one for each of ya. And the reason for this is that I wanted to be able to use this ground plane on an antenna and do some testing. And I have two of them. Again, one for each of ya. And I wanted to be able to, what I'm looking for is options. Being able to either go one way or the other on either side of the car, or have two UHF antennas, mounted antennas up on the rail that I built on here, or just go straight NMO. So that, and I have the radials for this. It would go in here upstairs. And it's identical to this one. So the way this works, or should work in theory, is you unscrew the other side of that. Let's just do this real quick. Sorry about that. I got you hanging out on the side. Let me see if I turn you upside down, what that's going to do to you. Probably drive you insane. But I needed my hands free. Well, right off the get, I'm not too excited about the way that worked out. Something better than this experience right here. Not super. I guess if I had done it in such a way that it would have tightened up on there a little bit better. I didn't have it tight for whatever reason. And then, yeah, that's a crap show. I gotta be real honest with you. I'm not digging that crap at all. I'm supposing that once you get the thing on there, that this cap will come off without me wanting to chuck the whole damn assembly across the parking lot, because this came out with it. But as it stands right now, yeah, that's less than optimal. But anyways, you take this apart. That size hole is what you would drill up in one of the plates up there, and then stick it up in there. This would go this way and bite into the bottom of the metal, and then theoretically you could just tighten it down on there, and it should come off. But it appears that this is going to be a little bitch and not want to come out. So I'm gonna have to get a 3/8 inch bolt or something and thread it in there to get it to sally forth. So not super excited about that little setup right there. That kind of capped my ass, actually. I'm not super thrilled with it. So let's open up the other one, because I didn't put the rain cap on it separate. And show you, I think if I'd tightened it down, you know, and snubbed the crap out of it, it wouldn't have unthreaded. It wouldn't have come off so easily. But what this is an adapter to, and watch this get all screwed down there sideways and won't come off. So anyways, Oh, I guess you got to really cram that little bastard down on it and spin it down. And I'm concerned getting this to come off and not take that mounting plate with it. So I guess that's the devil you pay. But anyways, that turns it into an NMO or UHF mount for just a regular antenna. And it allows you to use the always exciting round plane. And as a refresher, sorry about my knuckles and nothing else, it's just kind of sitting here off the edge of my if nothing else. So it's under tension. So let me turn you around and probably make you dizzy and pissed off, because I know that's where I'd be right about now, viewing this crap. So you know that I put this plate up here, I put a plate here, and there's a third one over there. Those NMO mounts are gonna go here and here, and we're gonna run the cabling right along the back side of it here, and then cross down into this channel, and then down here, you know, cross this, you know, on the inside so it's not visible. The cable will be back up behind it here where that white tip is, and well, not that far up there, but it'll be right there. And then it'll come down and you just see a little run of wire here and inside this track and then inside the door right there, and then jump inside the vehicle, and it'll be on both sides. I may just run a UHF mount in that center plate instead of having to go through the rigmarole I just went through to just show you that. So there's one project. The next project, this is components for that. For the tailgate, you got a pin, and you need the pin and the jigsaw. Let me lay some of this crap out. I guess that's the direction it's supposed to be in. I do apologize for this thing flipping back and forth. So let me kind of clue you in. What those two pieces of 1/2-inch copper tubing are going to be is probably a 2-meter J-pole, copper J-pole, and there's one of the fittings. It'll be very similar to this with a crossover piece. I'm going to do mine a little bit different than everybody else is doing, the way that they've got the connection point, the feed point and all that. I think it'll be kind of trick. So they're both too long for 220, so they're obviously are going to need to be cut down. But one of the things that I'm going to do differently is in my bag of tricks that I purchased today at great expense. Number one is the actual pipe cutter, and this terminating piece. So there will be a T here and a piece of a U-joint, and it'll go down further and then cross with these from one side to the other using pieces of pipe. And then at the end of the T will be this piece that be used as a mount. Anything lower than the crossover junction is electronically not part of the antenna assembly itself. And that's all well and good, but what I'm going to use is, in this bag of tricks, are no groove couplers, and those will slide all the way up and down that piece of pipe, and that's where I'm going to attach my feed point, negative and positive, to these, and then move it up and down to tune and match it to the frequency band, and then I'll solder it in place or put a screw in it. Put a fork in it, it's dead. So there's that. And you know, then there's solder, and there's a pipe cutter, and there's flux, and there's, oh my God, all kinds of stuff in there. So then, so that I can measure this stuff in meters and centimeters and millimeters, I got the flat aluminum rulers. Inside here, you'll see that there's two very thick pieces of copper wire. I hope you can see that. Those are going to be turned into Slim Jims. Sorry about that. This is what happens when you videotape without the tripod. I was saying that those two heavy pieces of wire are going to be turned into two different Slim Jims. And basically that's just a rounded rectangular dipole folded on both ends, and the feed points at the bottom, and then you put it inside a piece of PVC and seal it up with a pigtail going into a SL239 or SO259 or whatever the connection. I would screw those up. But anyways, so this here represents three different types of antennas, two different types, two different frequencies. I'm probably going to do a Slim Jim for GMRS and a Slim Jim for probably 2 meter. So I'll have a 2 meter J-pole, a 2 meter Slim Jim, a GMRS Slim Jim, and then this is going to be a dual band dipole antenna, aluminum rod, 3/8 inch aluminum rod. I got the die, 3/8 inch fine and 3/8 inch coarse. One of those will be the driven element, and it'll be screwed into the cable, and that's got to be threaded 3/8 inch fine. And then the other two will be the reflectors for 2 meter and 440. And obviously it's only going to take about a 6-inch piece of that metal, and drilling it at specific distances and different specific lengths of those pieces of metal, and then a 3/8 inch hole to mount it on a tripod or whatever. So that's the fourth antenna, and that's, I've got all the crap for that. I went over to my Ace is a place with your helpful hardware man and got a tapping a die for 3/8 coarse, 3/8 fine, and the handle, because my little wannabe was too small. So that ought to be a trick, trying to thread that without a vise, but I shall prevail. This is going to be a 2 meter 440 Arrow yaji antenna, handheld yaji antenna. I expect it's probably going to have 7 or 9 aerials. Most of those aerials will be for directors for 440, 70 centimeter, and I think 5 for 2 meter, and that is for working satellite. Still trying to figure out the whole duplexing part of it, so I don't have 2 different feed lines coming off of it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 antennas, the tailgate, and then the antenna mount, and then this right here. And what this is going to be is so that I can run, I have a Nano or a Lenovo 10-inch Android tablet that I want it to be able to stand up and bend over the top here so I can see it from there. And should I choose to be using USB, SDR with little antennas off of it so I can pick up frequencies of different bands. I can do that here, and also for satellite tracking. If you're gonna, there's satellite tracking that you get software for Android on Google Play that you can put on in Android so that you can get the exact bearing of the satellite and be able to communicate that way. So that's an upcoming project. Should be rather simple. And the other one will be to take the foot off of the radio mount and just straight bolt it to the plate, turn it around so that there's a mounting spot for this on this end, and then the radio will mount over that way. So 1, 2, 3. I have 8 projects. Hold on, let me turn around and look at you. Oh, if I took my hand out of the way. Again, I took my tripod, brought it inside, so obviously everything looks collywampus and totally ass backwards because it's not sitting on a tripod. I may be, also, I have another project that I'm doing, that I've been doing. Let me turn this back around and then I will jump back in. Again, apologize for the hand. Hanging off the back of the seat there are 2 identical backpacks, and those are bug out bags. And I wanted to kind of go through as a basic setup for what I'm going to have in bug out bags. Basically right now it's hatchets and ways to knives, stoves, camp stoves, stuff like that. So that's what's inside there. Plus, one thing that most people would probably forget if they're doing their own bug out bag is writing utensils, ways to pin it. You remember when there was all those missing people, God rest their soul, when the towers came down, and there were all these people's pictures with message boards, have you seen this person, all that stuff. Well, how do you put it there? How do you get it to stay there? So I have a collection of binder clips, paper clips, tape, flashcards, all manner of ways of communicating, the old school pencils, ink pens, that will also get split up into with Ziploc bags and be split up between the 2 bags. And then I have 2 identical bug out bags that I could also put a GMRS and a regular 2-meter 440 or 2-meter 220 440 handheld in each, so that there's methods of communication either between myself and one other person or a designated person in a team. So I'll join back up with you in a second. Okay, so this fiddle farting around with this damn camera setting drives me insane. So what I meant by taking the foot off, this foot is designed to go under or inside the bolt for the chair, this front seat bolt, and I just don't feel comfortable with that type of a setup. So you can take this nut off, which I already have, which mounts it to that foot, and there's a lock washer. Obviously I'll probably lose that, and take that foot completely off, and then I can take that and put it directly on that plate. Okay, so that post is going to go in that plate at the top hole and be screwed down nut from the bottom, and then all this extra noise isn't going to be used for this particular setup. And then in that hole right there, this bolt and washer assembly will be bolted. And it'll give me the flexibility to run my Android tablet inside the vehicle to do various things. Now, the last part of this is just 3/8 all thread. Okay, I'm probably going to put a piece of 1/2-inch tubing, probably wrap it a couple times with tape or something like that, and then slide a piece of tubing over it, because if you're sitting in the passenger seat having threads rubbing up and down against your leg, yeah, that's not happy times. So let me get back to it and I'll bring you back in. So this is with the foot removed and the radio bracket in place. You too. And the mount for the Android. So probably a little bit later I'll bring the Android down and put it in there so that the tablet, so you can see what I'm talking about. Now the other thing is that I definitely don't want anything where you're in a situation where it's a distracted driver. So this is obviously something that would be used when the car is parked, and more than likely from the passenger seat. You know, just put it in park, get out of the driver's seat, come over here, fiddle around with it, do my stuff, and sally forth. So that's that. I will come back in with a little shot of the Android in this mount. This widens up. Seems to be rather rigid. I'm wanting to do something to make that a little bit more rigid, but it is at least more out of the way. I don't want to cut this rubber mat right here. Okay, it kind of defeats the whole purpose of retaining water when you basically cut a hole in it so the water can run all over your carpet. So, and yes, the mats need to be cleaned, and yes, yeah, blah, 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 blah. But this is all about getting that and that to occupy the same space at the same time. And I will endeavor to never go anywhere without my tripod ever, 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 and forever again. So I'll be back with the Android in place. All right, I'm back in the car. I don't know if you can hear wind or whatever in the background, but that is what it looks like with the Lenovo Android tablet mounted. You can see the multiple color display of the radio. I do not have an antenna connected to it, so obviously the keyboard or the mic would not be being keyed, but I wanted you to see what I was, hold on, let me talking about as far as having that here, and I have a hotspot that can feed this. So if I wanted to do something here and not here, like run my Apple device here for iTunes and then Android for the Google Map here, I do have a hotspot. I could use it on the phone that I'm recording with. I have a hotspot in the vehicle here. So the biggest thing is for satellite and US SDR, picking up frequencies and stuff like that. And there'll be, at some point down here, probably a UHF, either ICOM 705 or something will be down here, like maybe a Yaesu 818. I'm not really sure. I'm gonna have to save up my nickels and pennies. So it'll be actually a usable, and you know, the wiring and stuff will be a lot neater than this is currently. However, in defense of leaving that out like that, it allows me to take this radio and put it in the rear of the vehicle, because I do have a cigarette jack back there to power it back there, so if I was operating off the tailgate or whatever. And this is removable. You know, when I went in someplace, I'd just probably take it off and set it down in between the seats. So anyways, the other thing I wanted to show you is this book right here. Okay, Roth Hamel's antenna book. Now I know there's people that are gonna give me crap. Well, nobody watches my channel, so nobody's gonna give me crap. But Roth Hamel's antenna book. This is indeed the definitive Bible of antenna design, what you can expect, how to make it, what types. This is the definitive work of antenna theory, and I highly recommend that you pick one up. They're not cheap. I believe that was $75 with shipping, and you have to go to their website and become a member and then purchase it. It is shipped from Germany, translated into English, and it is it is quite the tome of antenna lore and gobbledygook. So that's what I'll be using to model my antennas from, is all stuff antenna based on Roth Hamel's antenna book. I get nothing for free. I have to pay for everything, which is, you know, I'm kind of cool with that. So anyways, I would pick this up if you're serious. I think if you're trying to do your extra class, or you just want to be knowledgeable. I don't even have my technician's class license taken yet. I do have a GMRS radio, GMRS license, and I just like to piddle around with this stuff, and I just haven't knuckled down and taken the test. And I tell you, let me tell you something. Some of these YouTube channels and the way that they explain things, you can get a PhD in ham radiology. You can be a radiologist, or whatever that's called, or just a ham, licensed ham. So anyways, wanted to put that out there. Get the book, read it, know it, live it. And with that, I will sign off, and I will endeavor, as I get these projects that I just listed out, 5 different antennas. This is one project here. It's not complete. I still want to put a sleeve over that so it's not either chafing the leather or somebody's leg that's sitting there. And I may heat it and bend it this way slightly so it's out of the path of the seat, whoever, you know, somebody's legs that are there. But right now I'm kind of digging the way it's set up there, and it kind of defaults, you know, to tightening it. Is to bring it closer to me versus, well, I guess that's the only way, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, but it tightens to me, and tight is facing me. So that's good in my book. The other thing I need to do is figure out where I'm going to mount the antenna, or the microphone, and turn this off, and have it out of the way so it's not in the way. Maybe somewhere like right here, you know, some such, but someplace where it's out of the way and but still accessible. I don't like the cup holders to be blocked when I have a passenger and they have something to drink or whatever. I want them to be able to still access it, and you know, on travels or whatever. So this is where we're at for today. So thanks for watching, and I will talk to you later. Bye.